Good day, everybody. It's Steve here again. We've haven't chatted for a while, and I said I'd keep in touch and get some stuff here together, free for most of you to learn and be able to help yourself with activities you may be interested in. Long story short, about a year ago, the guy on the left, who was my other left, was me, 45 pounds ago or more. I think it was 50 some pounds at that time. I've gained a few pounds back because I ate a lot of crap in the last little while because I felt like it. Anyway, bad idea. Anyway, don't advise you to do it. A friend of mine offered me an opportunity to be involved in business, and I really wasn't looking. I just didn't care. Wasn't interested in making some extra money. Can always use extra money. Who can't? I wasn't interested in working at it. I'm, 64 at the end of this year. I'm not really, wasn't looking to invest any time in anything other than myself and my family and my wife, because she's got a lot of illnesses and she needs a permanent, constant caregiver. And we've decided that it's a good thing for me to do at that time. Anyway, but however, when he talked more, my aunt was, of course, dying of cancer. I've told some people this story. And so I was more interested in how well she was doing. It was May of last year. So, long story, I wasn't interested. But one of the things he did say to me, which kind of got me going, was, well, it's a way you can lose weight and you don't have to change any of your habits. You don't have to exercise to do all this stuff. I said, wow, sounds good. But however, just send me the stuff, information. So he sent me a link. I looked at it. There was a feature there to pre-enroll if I wanted. There was no cost to me. So I said, what the heck? That was in May. Anyway, long story short, my aunt passed, which I was very saddened by. I had some information from my doctors that told me that I better start losing weight and dropping my uh, habits of eating sugared stuff or whatever, because my sugars levels were high, my fats were high, cholesterol was high, blood pressure was high, and that they're going to start medicating me with a lot of medications. I said, well, I don't want to do that. He said, it doesn't matter what you want. You're at that age. I keep forgetting how old I am. And I said, yeah, I suppose so. Well, give me a few months. Let me debate that. So anyway, I kept in contact. This guy kept sending me stuff. I really didn't respond, which most people do. That's just normal. And in July of last year, I actually tried some of it, and it really worked. I'm going to get into the details of it because I'm not here to pitch a product, though I do pitch it. But like one thing that's important to me and to my buddy who's been involved in the online marketing, network marketing, word of mouth marketing, personal, you know, uh, what do you call them, review marketing, is Chuck. And Chuck's been around for a long time, made a lot of money, and had a lot of contacts, and is probably one of the hardest working people I've ever met in the game. But one of the things that we do have in common, we share a lot of experience in this business. And there's things we look for in those types of opportunities. And it's not to be at the beginning, because startups are really bad. Usually most of them fail within the first year or so. People that get started spend their time doing a lot of work for nothing, even if it's a phenomenal product. Products are only good if the marketing behind them is good, I mean, Coke still spends pretty close to $1 billion a year in marketing Coke, and most people here have heard of Coke. Okay, and the reason they do that is for top of mind awareness. So when you want a Coke or you want a cold drink, you think of Coke. It's kind of crazy, I know, but they still do that. So marketing and distribution is everything. So startups are not good. Oh, by the way, the first year Coke was in business, they sold only 25 bottles of Coke, just for your information. So could have been a good investment. You probably would have bailed. I would have bailed. Most people would have bailed. Startups are bad. Second part of phase of a life of a company is the manage. They start developing the stages. They develop their infrastructure. They develop their network or their marketing or their distribution system. They set up, payment structures, how they get paid, how they wholesale, retail, costs, etc. and payment plans and how they do them and set them up all over. And if they're across the world and they're seamless, then I have an interest. If they're not, I don't. If they're limited market only to Canada or only to the US or only to, Ukraine or whatever, I'm not interested. It's just not a business. I like things that are international that can grow rapidly through word of mouth. And the third stage is actually the growth stage when people start growing. There's a lot of people, there's like four big stages of a networking company that we look for, those of us that are involved in those type of affairs. And if you're a person that looks at those things or not, or if you have opportunity to look at them and you don't know what to look for, that's why I'm sharing this with you. I can tell you the how-tos later, but this is what you look for. Anything else you may want to reevaluate. If you've been in the business for 7 years and you're making less than you did when you started, the odds are that it's in the management stage, which is the final stage where company reaches its growth potential. I'm not suggesting it's a bad thing. If you're happy with the funds that you're making and it pleases you, then continue on with it. And if you're not, then you may be looking around. So look. But these are the 4 things that you should look for. The third stage, which is the growth stage, people start hearing about the product from friends, relatives, neighbors, online, advertising marketers. There's online marketing going on with whether it's on Facebook or Google. You're getting more and more reviews, etc. People today, especially with the automation of the internet and the seamlessness of it, like I can do something I'm doing here and it can be seen in Russia or US or in England or in Africa, and it can be translated through a lot of the programs that we have here. So the automation has changed the world as we know it, and I'm pretty excited about that. And one of the things I looked at when I looked at this opportunity for me was I didn't care about any of this stuff I'm telling you. I just want to lose some weight. I just want to drop 40 or 50 pounds. Sounds like a daunting task, and it had been since I was in my, late 40s. I really was just growing bigger and bigger and bigger to the point where, when I was an athlete, I was the 190, 210 always, kept in shape, very physical. And then in my 30s, it got less, and I gained weight, and it was into 220s. And then I was in my 30s and 40s, and then I grew into the 220, 230, 240. And then when I hit my 50s, I was into the 260s. And then when I hit my 60s, then I was into the 270s to 287. I think I was at my highest. I was pushing close to 300 pounds. So I had some medical issues occurring. Yes, age was certainly one of them, but the physical element and the things I was eating and the diet I had was not helping me. And the doctor wanted to start piling pills into me, and I really was against that. I've seen the detrimental things that can happen to people with medications, and there are great things that can happen too. But I thought there was a way I could actually create a solution, and then all of a sudden I heard about the product that I use now. And it was pretty exciting news to me. And so when, of course, I was first approached, wasn't interested, the weight loss thing kind of piqued my interest. So then I decided to try a can of it, which was a month's supply. And within a month, I'd lost quite a few pounds. And I didn't change my lifestyle in any bit, just changed the brand of a product I was drinking regularly anyway. And it was like, oh my God, this thing really works. So then I started sharing it with some people. And then I said, well, even if I can get a few people using this product and getting the same health benefits that I was, because my blood pressure was dropping. And I'm not saying that this product helped the blood pressure, but losing the weight certainly did. I noticed, the next time I went for blood work, etc., I didn't have to take diabetic pills, which was a really good thing. And I really didn't want to get into that. Didn't have to take other pills that they wanted to do, high blood pressure pills, etc., etc. So whatever you're doing, keep doing it, which I fully intended to do, because that's what inhibits most people from moving forward in life and on diets of any type, be it the ketogenic diet, the low-fat, high-carb diet, high-fat, low-carb diet. It doesn't matter what kind of a diet. Your diet is what you do to fuel your body. It's not an event. It's not I need the diet to get my weight down for the summer. It's not the diet to lose weight for my bathing season. It's not the diet to go look good for the wedding pictures. It's not the diet to look good for the family reunion. It's not the diet to look good for the class reunion. It's what you do for to fuel your body and to keep you healthy and well. And anyway, So when I started looking at that, I was pretty excited. And so one of the other things I noticed was that at that time they had an organization, like reviews are big online. You know, I've got 50 reviews, 100 reviews, 200 reviews. Well, I had a group at that time, there was 18,000 people who were benefiting from the various products I was using. So that was a great idea for me. So I started looking at some of these people who had no vested interest in me ever buying that product. And that's all I had an interest doing was buying the product, using it, and losing some weight. And it happened. And I looked at those sites, and then all of a sudden there was all these people losing weight. I'm like, oh my God. I'm sure there's people that aren't, and I'm sure there are people that don't. But that didn't matter to me because I was, and I cared about that. And I knew that of all the people I knew, some of them were looking for ways to lose weight. So they had a system, if I shared it with a couple of people, that I could get mine free. Sounded good to me. So I did that, looked into it. And of course, that's all I was ever interested. Once I had said, oh, if it works, I'll lose weight. Then the second thing was, if I lose weight, maybe a few people I know may want to lose weight, and then I can get mine for free. So even better. So there was no cost to me. Then all of a sudden, I looked at the marketing and the payment structure, which paid extremely well, and it was seamless worldwide. I said, wow, this thing could be really, this could be my Tim Hortons opportunity. You know, I got in when Tim Hortons was a young man. I don't know. Some of you have realized that I've learned in life a long time ago that a well-timed investment beats a lifetime of labor. It's, you know, some of the people you know that are wealthy just got into the right thing at the right time. And you know who they are. I'm not going to get into the details of that. So the next stage you look for is if there's growth in that company. And that was the third stage. The first stage is startup, remember, you know, don't want to go into those as a rule. This company has been around for 5 years, so they've been, you know, shipping things internationally for 5 years, and all of a sudden they got more and more known, more and more known, more and more known. So the second stage, all of a sudden they had a distribution system in place. So they had the components, the constructive stage was already over. There's 4 stages. The third stage, which was the growth stage, where people were actually having success, sharing success, and there were people involved in the network that were making money at it. And so some of them were a significant amount of money. The average person, I won't know what they make. I'm not going to get into the details of it, but that's the third stage of most of those businesses. And okay, all of a sudden, when you get into that growth stage, there's a point where when it starts to double its revenue, it starts to double its sales. And that's when you go into maximum overdrive, or they call it momentum. And a lot of companies swear that they're in it and all that stuff, but if they're not growing 2 and 3 times a year what they did the previous year, they're not even close, you know, because momentum lasts for 2 to 3 years. You know, you go from, it usually hits around $2 to $4 million a month. When a company hits that stage and they go higher than that, then they start, you know, increasing their sales every quarter by doubling and doubling and doubling. Then the following year they're doing 10 times, and that's momentum. And that momentum carries on for 3 to 5 years normally. And a company, you'll see them go from like 40 million a year, 50 million a year, to 200 million a year 2 or 3 years later, to 500 to 600 million a year, to $1 billion a year. And then it can continue to grow. It depends on the product lines that they have and the continuous use of the products. You want something repeat consumable, easy to ship, cheap, you know, to send across the continents, because shipping is everything. You know, you can't be shipping sofas, you can't be shipping houses. So you got to have something that can be easily shipped, and it's, you know, doesn't need a lot of regulatory bodies to take care of it. And so these are the things I look for. Then the final stage of the business, in the management stage, and people hang on 15, 20 years later, they're with a company and they're making their 3 or 4,000 a month or a week or whatever it is that they want or need or require. The majority of people that look at these types of businesses, 500 to $1,000 a month. That's all they're looking to make. Pay the bills, pay for the car, pay for the house, pay the babysitters, whatever it may be. Everybody today is looking for revenue of some sort, and there's not a lot of ways to make it anymore. Everybody knows they should get something going online because they can work from their home, as I'm doing right here. And I'm just sharing this as a concept free. There are many businesses out there, all good, credible, honorable businesses, but look for those 4 things. 1, startup, stay away from. 2, yeah, if they're in the constructive stages and you can, you know, weather the storm for a couple of years, 2 to 3 years, and you can finance yourself, then stay with it. If it grows, then you could be in a very, very great position. When it hits into that momentum stage, that's where you want to be. That's the sweet spot. And that lasts 3 to 5 years. And that's where this company I deal with is. And we know that from the growth that we're having. We're going incredibly fast. And it's a consumable repeat business, and it's with weight loss. So can't beat it. And I hope that helps you. I'm not here to promote you or to do this or to do that. There are many things that you want to do with your life, and you're doing them now, I'm sure. But for those of you that are watching this, you're either a friend of mine or friends of mine, and someone shared this with you. But if you're doing any of these types of online businesses, those are the 4 stages of a company you should look for. I will be giving you other overviews of how to get started in businesses, what you should be looking for, what you should avoid. The reason I'm doing that is to give you the benefit of the 41 years of experience I've had in that organization or networking. You can't teach experience. You have to acquire it. But a friend of mine once said, a man who teaches himself has a fool for a master. I don't know where the quote comes from, but it made a lot of sense to me. A wise person learns from the mistakes of others. And that's why I'm sharing this with you. If you're friends of mine, listen to the mistakes I've made and learn from the things that I have learned. And I hope that something here benefits you in your life endeavors, whatever they may be. Anyway, appreciate the time you're sharing with me now. I like having this opportunity to talk to people, and I personally love the one-on-ones, whether it's a phone call or a Zoom presentation or a Skype call or anything I can do to be of help. Any of you who know me know how to get a hold of me. Nice talking at you. Steve Poderski signing off. Thank you very much for listening. Bye.